Paradise, God in my life, God's paradise, God in my life. What's up, brothers? What's going on, man? IP in the cut, IP International Passport. Hope you brothers are doing well, man. How's your Sunday going so far? Type of one in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Can you boys hear me? Can you dudes hear me, bro? Can y'all hear me? How's the audio, man? I'll be live, I'll be clean, I'll be crisp, I'll be concise. Right. How's the audio? How is the audio? Type of one. We good? We good? Audio is crispy. Okay, perfect. Shout, thank you, man. Let's get straight into it, right? First and foremost, throughout tonight, please hit the super chat. Show IP some support. Show IP some love. Hit the super chat. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you want to support any further, even more, please join the Patreon. There's a lot of content on the Patreon, of course, more to come as well. Woman, IT, etc., etc. So please make sure y'all join the Patreon too. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Right, the theme of today's live stream is she got a bit of the same race. Should passport bros choose race over personal preferences? Now I'm gonna set my monologue first, and then after that we're gonna have a call-in show. All right, my monologue will probably be around 20 minutes, potentially half an hour. But I want to just speak about a few things that, again, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just putting the message out there. Now, is it sensible? Now, okay, in the realm of dating, okay, do you go with your heart or do you go with your brain? What does that mean? When I say go by your heart, that means you go by your personal preference. That might be a racial preference. That might be you generally prefer white Latinas, right, over everything. That's your heart. But let's say you're a black man, okay? So your personal preference is a white Latina, but your brain is telling you, hey, you're better off getting with a black woman. Because guess what? There are pros and cons to both sides of the arguments. Let's go with the brain, your mind first, right? Your mind is telling you, get with a black woman, and I'll tell you why. Number one, you're both black. Similar culture. She understands you. She gets you. Okay? She gets you, your background. There'll be no discrepancies. And you're gonna have you'll be living in like, let's say, a black cultural environment. And I want to give you an example here that I think I've mentioned numerous times before. I know a friend, right, back in the day, and he was dating this white chick, okay? And he mentioned how to his white girlfriend that he believes that he's going through racism at work. And then his white girlfriend said to him, "Oh, don't worry, it's all in your head." His non-black girlfriend said to him, "Don't worry, it's all in your head." Okay? Can you imagine a black woman, a foreign black woman, saying that to you as a black man? Don't worry about racism, it's all in your head. Now, I know this passport bro movement is amazing. It's changed a lot of lives, given us freedom, etc., etc. But these kind of discussions here are also discussions we have to also speak about. You being a passport bro is great, but if you're a black passport bro, should you be going after foreign black women only? If you're a white passport bro, if you're a white type of two in the live stream chat, I know some non-black people watch my channel. That's also nice as well. If you're white type of two, if you're not black type of two in the live stream chat, it's all good. Now, let's say you have a white passport bro. Does it make sense for him to go after a foreign white woman? Why is he going after Asian woman? Why is he going after a black woman? Again, the white culture and the Asian culture are two separate things, right? And it's the same for black men too. Like, so, but then again, right? The other argument is, shouldn't you go for who you genuinely like? So if you like Asian chicks, should you not go after Asian women, right? Do you go with what your heart really wants, your personal preference? You're physically attracted to Asian women. You love the body, their face, their how they look, and you feel like, oh, and you know what, and you know what, it's actually a fair argument here, because like the woman you choose, right, and keeping it PG here, this is a woman that you're going to be smashing on a regular basis for the next couple of years, bro, or the next couple of decades, bro. Okay? Does it not make sense to go after the woman you're physically attracted to? Because there will be bedroom activities frequently. And don't you feel like when you go after your personal preference, there's no like, you won't feel like you're being like, you're yeah, like like you're forcing yourself to smash her. You actually genuinely like her, right? Whereas if you don't go after your personal preference, right? Let's say you go after a black chick, right? But you're not into black women like Asian chicks. You're probably not gonna be happy in that marriage or relationship. You probably won't. You probably won't. But you know that, hey, I gotta do it for the black culture. Having black kids that look like me, kids that will get my genetics, right? So these are discussions here that I feel like we're not having enough as passport bros. Okay. I think race matters. I think culture matters. But I also believe that having a personal preference matters too. Because if you go by your personal preference, you're happy that you're locked up with a woman you genuinely like physically. Because it's mental is also important, having the same personality, but you have to also be attracted to her for you to smash her. Likewise for her, she has to find you attractive too physically for her to be smashing you, for her to be getting smashed by you, right? So, but at the same time, she's not black or she's not white if you're a white passport, bro. These are discussions where we're missing out here, and I feel like it's very important that you know passport bros understand, right? And there's also argument that yes, um, you probably want to go with your mind, because it just makes sense to be with a woman that understands you, that's your own race, right? A woman that that's also black as well. And I'm not talking about American black women or British black women. We know they're cooked. I'm talking about black women from Africa, black women from the Caribbean, black women from flipping Latin America. Don't you think it makes more sense for black passport bros to go after foreign black women and not non-black foreign women? Again, I'm just giving you guys both sides of the argument. And when I open up the phone lines, you can chime in here. But I'm just thinking here, right? Race and culture do matter. They do matter. And another argument here is that, okay, so you're a black passport, bro. You get a non-black chick. You have um half black, half Asian kids, right? We do know that mixed race children sometimes have identity issues. They ask themselves, am I black or am I that color? Am I black or am I white? Blah blah blah. But if you have a fully blooded black kid, he knows he's black. Again, I'm just throwing the argument out here. There's no right or wrong answer, right? Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. Okay, I've been having discussions with a lot of dudes. They've raised it as well. I feel obligated to be with a black woman, but I personally prefer a white woman. I don't know what to do. A lot of men are going through this, bro. Because you know what, there is a good point as to having black families, having black kids, having a black woman. She gets you. There's no cultural clashes, etc., etc. But let's say you're not into black women. Do you want to force yourself to be with a woman that you don't really like? I'm just keeping a buck, right? So do you do things for the culture and for the race, or do you go by your selfish desires or your personal desires? Right? I'm physically attracted to Asian woman. I'm gonna get me an Asian chick. Okay, great. But does she truly understand you as a black man? Does she get black culture? Does she get racism? Will she fight for you in your corner? Will she fight for your half black kids? Is she strong enough, right, to handle stairs? Listen, a lot of non-black women can't handle stairs, bro. Listen, I'm keeping it a buck. A lot of non-black women, right? Like when they're with a black man, people stare at them, bro. And some women don't care. Some women it bugs them out, and they're like, she can't. It's like I can't do it no more. It's just too much attention, too much ritual towards us. They can't do it, bro. Right? Listen, I'm just putting it out there, and these are discussions that men of all races have to like need to have as well. Even white dudes gotta have this conversation to white men, Mexican men, basically men of all races who are passport bros. Because a lot of white dudes right now, right, are on social media talking about how the white community is losing numbers, blah blah blah. But a lot of you white dudes are with Asian chicks. Who's forcing you to be with Asian chicks? But be real with yourself, white dude, right? Be real with yourself, white boy. You have a personal preference for East Asian women, Chinese, Korean. So you get with them, but at the same time, like you're complaining about how there's not enough white kids being made, the white community is losing numbers. Well, why are you even an Asian chick then? Let's keep it real. So also white men are going through it as well, bro. A lot of white men desire Asian women, right? But at the same time, they're like, oh man, but I like the white community. Should I be with a white woman to make white kids? You know? Should passport bros choose race over personal preferences? Should passport bros choose culture and race over personal preferences? Some may do, and I don't blame them, bro. But at the same time, if you genuinely choose race over personal preferences, and you don't like your race of woman on that attractive level, I think you're gonna struggle, bro. I feel like your relationship or marriage may end up in a divorce, or you may leave her because or you may even cheat, bro, or even have a side chick, bro. That's not black. Like, yeah, remember, this is a woman that you're gonna be with every day of your life until you're old, until you leave Earth. You have to be smashing her. Like you have to be physically attracted to her, bro. Like when you both want it, when she wants it, when you want it, bro. When you get down in the bedroom, right? You know, can you actually smash a chick you don't like? You know, and how long can you put up that facade for, bro? Let's open up the phone lines, man. Let's open up the phone. Let's have a good discussion. I'm open up the phone lines over here. Call in, right? If you agree, if you disagree, let me know. If you want to share your point, remember, there's no right or wrong answer. It's an open debate. Okay, so keep it respectful. No swearing, no N-word use. But I'm gonna open up the phone lines here. And I want to hear what y'all dudes' thoughts are. You know, like, do you go by your personal preference, or do you actually keep it black and get a black woman? And both, I feel like both answers can be correct. Both answers can be correct. I feel like it can be correct. You know, I really do feel like both answers can be correct. Right? Can you actually be with a non be can you actually be with a non-black chick, or are you happy? Remember, you have to actually be smashing this woman you're with. Can you do that, bro? With a woman you don't like? I don't think that's possible. I think you're gonna end up cheating or like divorcing, man. But at the same time, she black. You're doing it for the culture. But you know it's a black woman. Listen, man, this is so complex. Let me bring in the legendary expat, man. I know who this brother is, man. He back in the building. He back. Guess who's back? Expat's back. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Oh man, I'm just kidding with it, bro. Let me been going, bro. Let me get my headset in, bro. Let's get it cracking. Expat, what's up, bro? You good, brother?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Hope you've been well.
I've been all right, bro. How you been, man?
Not bad. Market's been very active of late, so it's been good for me. I hope you've been making some money off of all the chaos.
Okay. Oh wow, awesome, bro. The tech market.
Yeah, I recently started doing some work for a private equity firm, so that's been really busy. But obviously, the stock market's been all over the place. FX has been all over the place. It's been a lot of opportunities to make money recently.
Let's go, bro. But okay, bro. We'll talk about that very soon, bro, or maybe later on in the stream. But that's awesome, man. So, expat, thanks for calling, brother. Like, do you want to chime in on this discussion, bro?
Sure.
There is no right or wrong answer, but what's your thoughts?
I hate this answer because, like, first off, you're talking about something super important, which I appreciate. Second of all, I think we're kind of cooked either way, right? So allow me to explain what I mean. If we went back 15 years ago when we were all a little bit younger, right? Um, the landscape of what it meant to be black was very different, right? So if I think about today, if I just take let's just use the USA, right? And let's just use black Americans. If I think about the young black American women of today, it doesn't matter if she's mixed or not. A ton of them have that identity crisis now, right? Like that identity crisis you're talking about used to be from the mixed kid to the light skinned girl. Now it's like dark skinned black women that have it, right? So the Doja Cat disease is is very strong. I don't know, like it's I don't think that first off, I don't think that I could just be like, hey, there's one black, right? If I talk to a black girl who grew up in Manhattan, she's not the same as a black girl who grew up in Louisiana or a black girl that grew up in Florida or California. So what it even means to be black now is kind of up in the air. The other thing, like I said, the foundationally black American women who have that Doja Cat disease, that have that identity crisis, that's very common in the UK and the US, right? The third thing that's killer, I'm sure because you're in the UK, you've talked to these black African women that are expats, right? Where they're immigrants and they came and they have educated families. A lot of them start to lose those values when they get to New York, right? I remember like there's one I spoke to. She's Ethiopian, and her family's super well off. They own a place in Manhattan worth over $1 million. She works at Google, obviously very well educated, and a lot of her values are not anywhere near what like black American values are, and they're not even African values are anymore. So it's like at face value, sure, getting someone who has the same cultural values of you, that makes a lot of sense, but it's way harder to do in practice now. Like, where do you, if I think about you, right, where you're kind of a conservative, old school, Christian, Western black man, where do you even find that at scale?
Facts. No, absolute facts, expat. Absolute facts. Like, so what now? So let me ask this, brother, right? So you said either way we're cooked, right?
Yeah.
So like, so do you feel like, okay, so if we're cooked either way, do you feel like black men should go for the personal preference? Let's say, okay, they're into a white woman, right? Or they're into Asian woman. The heart's telling them go for who you really like, but the mind tells them a black woman makes more sense culturally, same race, same values, less culture classes, right? Do you like what should they lean towards to, even though they're both correct? Because I feel like, bro, both answers can be correct. Because once again, I think I said that story, right? I knew a dude. He had a white girlfriend. He complained to her, right? He confided with her as his girl, right, about issues like, hey, I feel like I'm being racially discriminated at work, right? She said to him, I think it's all in your head. It's all in your head. Can you imagine a black woman telling a black man it's all in your head about racism? These are the things that, like brothers need to actually understand as well. Like, but also if you go with your personal preference, bro, it makes sense because like you're happy smashing her. Like your wood gets hard keeping it PG for her, right? Whereas
Yeah.
with a black chick, if you're not attracted to her, really like that, bro. You feel like it's a chore to smash her, bro. Like seeing her naked doesn't really like excite you, bro. You're like, what did I like? Why did I pick this life, bro? It's so hard to, bro. What's your thoughts?
No, that's a great point. So first thing I would say is like, this is kind of savage, but like everybody has different opinions on having women friends, but for dating, if I'm not attracted to her, she doesn't exist. So, back when I was single, there was never like, oh, I know you've had this happen too, right? Your family will try to introduce you to some girl and you'll look at her and be like, I wish I was blind right now. Stevie Wonder has a better life than me for sure. Um, I never give that any credence, and it sucks because a lot of what it's like. A lot of black men do get pressured into family, into dating or marrying
Mm,
substandard women, right? Like I've had that happen in
mm,
my family. Um,
facts.
so number one, like gotta avoid that. If you're gonna be with somebody long term, let's say let's say that you're only just gonna be with her, right? She's gonna be your wife. You're gonna be monogamous. You have to be attracted to her. It's a non-negotiable, right?
Mm,
Um, her personality is hard to woman's personality is hard to change, but her looks are even harder to change without Dr. Miami. So looks number one. Call me shallow. The second thing I would say that sucks is like, you know, I'll flip it on you because you're well traveled, right? And you speak to people who are well traveled. If you're like, if take you an example, a conservative Christian black man, traditional values, family, not into divorce, not into all the mess. If I take a progressive black woman from Chicago, New York, or San Francisco, is she actually a better match for you than an Eastern European woman who is raised in a Christian household, in an Orthodox Christian household? I don't know anymore. I honestly can't even tell you.
mm, facts. Bro, that is a great point, bro. That is a fantastic point. Like, bro, it's so hard because yeah, okay, yes, the Christian white girl, yes, it's probably better culturally, but again, I feel like race trumps everything, bro. Race, because remember when you marry a chick, right? You're not only marrying her, you're marrying her family, bro. Like,
Yes,
she's gonna
for
have
sure.
in-laws, brothers, all that stuff. Right? So she may be cool, but there could be problems in the extended family as well. And
Sure.
then you have a half black, half white kid, identity issues, bro. Like, even though yes, everything's all good with her, but then children come in the picture, bro, and then for example, wait, let's say you have a daughter, right?
Yeah.
Half white, half black daughter. Like, because in the Western world, bro, the white woman is the beauty standards, blonde hair, blue eyes,
Totally.
Barbie, right? She's
Yeah.
thinking she's half black. She was fully white. She has her curly hair. These are things like that you have to take into account. You know, these are things like it's not just about, oh, I'm around for these chicks, man. Hey man, this white chick, she love me, man. She on my Johnson like a mouthful, right? Okay, you have a kid with her, right? Then your kid might have identity issues. She wants to be a fully white girl, but shame why she's half black. And that happens with a lot of like half black kids. If I keep it real with you, bro, right? So even though the white girl is right for you culturally, there could be issues with children, with extended family, blah blah blah. But the progressive black girl, you have a kid with her, bro, and there's no identity issue. She knows she's black, right? Blah blah blah. But your wife's gonna be crazy, bro. And also, are you really attracted with your progressive wife? You may find it a chore to be smashing her like every week, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
blue
really
hair's not
attracted
gonna
to
do it for
her.
you.
Facts, bro. The blue hairs ain't gonna do it for you. It's so hard, and I do believe that you have to be actually keeping it PG, actually attracted to your girlfriend or wife, bro. Because SES is
Absolutely.
important, bro. It's
Yeah.
important.
No, you're raising great points, but one thing like I have to push back on, like especially now, especially in the US and especially in the UK, I can't count, like I've lost track of the amount of dark-skinned black women who behave like the light-skinned girls used to when they would have an identity crisis. That like there used to be a line in the sand, right? And now it's just gone. There are a ton of dark-skinned black women who identify with white culture. They either date Playboy Cardi guys or they date, rejects from Fall Out Boy or My Chemical Romance. They like, Timothy Chalamet. They don't like Michael B. Jordan. And that is just it's a real thing after COVID, right? I can't look at if you get to our age, right, and you go above, yeah, the tables are very different. But once you go down to Gen Z, it's a lot of black women that don't identify with anything black, and then the ones that do identify with Glorilla and Sexy Red, right? I'm not saying that's all of them. It's definitely not the case, but it's like this is the time in our entire lives where what it means to be black is very divided, right? There are a lot of black women who are darker than either of us that are heavily into quote unquote alternative culture, skateboarding, all this stuff, and like dating skinny, dorky white boys. So if the dark skinned black girls are having an identity crisis today, what's the difference between having a mixed race kid that has an identity crisis? Unfortunately, it's the same thing. It's like when we were younger, they'd always say, the homeschool kids are kind of like weird socially and it's not good to homeschool them. Now all the kids are like that. So the baseline for what's normal is kind of shifted to the point where you're right that, an identity crisis in your kids is not a good thing, but the fully black kids are having them too. What do you even do at that point?
Damn. No, let me bring in Dems Wood in the background. What's up, Dems? You good?
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro. How are you, man?
All good, man. All good.
Oh, your audio is a bit bad. Are you outside or?
Always my friend. What's up? Am I better now?
No, you're kind of like far away from your mic, bro.
How about now? Can you hear me?
No, it's still low, bro.
Oh. One second. I'm putting my earphones.
Okay. It's a great discussion, man. Great discussion. Go on, bro.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Yeah, man. This is a guy. How you doing, bro? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
All good, man. This has been an interesting discussion.
You want to chime in, bro?
Mind and heart. Brothers are gonna go with their heart, bro. It's like you said, it's the physical attraction. Physical attraction needs to be there if they want to go with that particular woman. And it's like you said yesterday, where we were talking about what would you do if you had $1 million or £1 million? You set up your economic base, then you set up your cultural base. And your cultural base will be the country where you want to go the most, and that comes with the women. I think brothers are going more with their personal preferences because the mind goes to it. They have to go for a black woman. Let me ask brothers this question: do you really want to go with a black woman, or are you pressured into going with a black woman? Are you? Is there fear with dating outside your race? Because I know brothers have listened to pro-black activists like a certain Dr. Someone, and they have been pre-programmed to go with the culture. Oh, I have to date a black woman because my mom's black, my sisters are black, my aunties are black, so I have to represent. But let me ask you this question, brothers. What has being pro-black done for you? What has it done for you? What has being pro-black done for you? That's a genuine question. Because if you're dating a black woman, yes, even if she's foreign, you're doing it for the culture. What has the culture done for you as an individual? Because you've lived your life, you want happiness, and now if you date outside your race, it becomes another issue. Don't we want happiness? Don't we want a peace of mind?
So go on, experiment 67, bro.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a great point. Like, a lot of times people do get bullied into dating certain women, and the people in the systems bullying us into doing it have done nothing for us our entire lives, right? So it's a bad value proposition to listen to them. I guess the trick is like, what does it mean? Like, let's say you're dating like a black woman who's like very traditional in her values, right? She's beautiful, she's well educated, she knows to let you be the man, and she's the woman. I don't think it's wrong to give her kind of like, you shouldn't force yourself to date her if you're not attracted to her, right? But I don't think it's also wrong to give her a leg up. Like, I've never held black women and white women in dating to the same standard. I always put the black women higher, right? So it's fair to kind of like grade them on a scale. I guess the challenge is, like you said, the culture hasn't necessarily worked for us, but for some of us it has. Like, I have a friend who is Canadian, but he grew up in Africa. Sorry, his family grew up in Africa. They moved to Canada, before he was born. And basically, he did really well in school. He became a doctor, and his family found him a wife who's African, and she's also a doctor. And she makes more money than him. So it's like, the culture around him kept him in, focus on school, really strict. He became a doctor, so super successful. And then he gets a wife who's also an MD. Right. So it's not like whole scale black culture has failed. I just think like in the UK, in the US and Canada, and largely in the Caribbean, it's kind of dysfunctional. So it depends on what black you're marrying, right? Like, I'll give you an example. If I open Instagram right now and I look at some of the black girls that I follow that are Gen Z, and they're listening to Luke Combs, am I going to relate to her as much as I'm going to relate to the Filipino chick that likes Usher or Neo? I don't know.
Facts. Let me bring BGS in the background. And by the way, the guy that your friend, the doctor, right? Is he actually attracted to his wife that they arranged for him, bro? He is.
So, and this is the catch. And I actually like, his parents are the coolest. So they used to shame the living crap out of him to stay in shape, and they shamed her to stay in shape. So she takes great care of herself, very pretty woman, and he takes great care of himself, and it just works. So it's like, you do see in cases where, that traditional African values, I believe they're Nigerian, kind of works out for them. But
until they get to the United States.
No, they both live in the United States. She's living in the United States.
What's going on? What are Nigerians complaining about right now about moving to the United States with their wives?
I think that's different as importing your wife from Nigeria versus she grew up in the US.
My grandson is a quarter Nigerian, so, and his grandmother is Nigerian. So Nigerians been around for a very long time, and they integrate into the society just like everybody else, and they have their own little whatchamacallits. Okay. In fact, in America, Nigerian women are the most feminist.
You think so?
Yes.
Would you say they're more feminist than like Ethiopian or FBA women?
Yes, they're the most feminist. Yeah, they are.
Put me on knowledge.
What was it? There was an old show ran by two Nigerian women, back in the day on YouTube for a long time. I can't remember the name of it. Okay.
Oh, Insecure. Yeah, Insecure.
No. Insecure is one of them. I'm talking about on YouTube. There was a talk show, a group show.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and those are two Nigerian women. Okay, well, actually three Nigerian women.
I remember that. I remember that back in the day. What was the name called?
Yeah,
the round table.
Yeah. What is? I think it was a round table. Whatever it was a round table, right? Those are Nigerian women. Okay. Nigerian women, when they get to the United States, are the most feminist. Okay, believe it or not. So when they get here, the things going on now, especially in UK, what did they have to tell the Nigerian women that actually took their women from Nigeria to the UK? Okay,
yeah, they switch up.
Yeah, you can't stop calling the police on your husband. Okay, so Nigeria is, there's other countries that Nigeria would not use as a example.
Okay. Is there one that you would use to an example that sticks to their values, you think?
I would say Ghanaian, always. Okay. Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Kenyans are not bad. Somalis are questionable. Okay.
Yeah.
Sudanese can be questionable, but South African, was it Ghanaian? You can get Congolese. There's a whole bunch of countries in there that are suitable. But the thing is, Nigeria, I would not use as an example, especially Nigerian women.
So
Not in the United
specifically,
States.
so other African women are okay. It's just the
What
Nigerians.
I'm saying is, you would start with the Nigerian women and work your way down. Okay, you said, in other words, the women that are the most feminist, you can work your way down after that. Okay,
So
I
would
would
you
use
say
Nigeria
like
as an example.
what matters more, the nationality or her parents? Because like some of these girls don't like. I've seen what you're saying. Like some of them, they come to America, they get settled, and they act like American white
It-
women, right?
For whatever reason with Nigerian women, ma'am, Nigerian women are different. Okay, that's how come you can take a Nigerian woman that's been raised in damn near 30 years old and bring them to the UK or to the United States. All of a sudden they turn into feminists. Okay, within a year or so. Okay, because they can. Because they've been waiting. I've been waiting to get after you for a long time. Okay. And a lot of Nigerian men are complaining about that. Okay. In fact, there's a lot of Nigerian men. So I'd rather marry an American woman than marry you.
Yeah. No, that is true.
Anyway, I came up here because the brother asked, "What has pro-black gotten black men?" Right, and that's fine. I understand because you're not from here. Okay. I want to ask you: was your mama a sharecropper?
No, not at all.
Okay. Oh, I'm talking to the brother 007. Was your mama a sharecropper?
A what?
Was your mother a sharecropper on a plantation, a white man's plantation?
Oh hell no. My mother was
Okay.
Nigerian.
Was your daddy a sharecropper?
No.
Okay. That's what pro-black is not necessarily who you marry. Okay. Pro-black is what got you from being a slave and Jim Crow sharecropper to where you are now. Okay. That's pro-black.
I understand that, but I'm talking about from the UK perspective. Like me and we're from the UK.
Okay.
And
Wait, pro-black in the UK is completely different than pro-black in America.
yes.
So when you use so I don't even know what pro-black means in the UK. What does it mean in the UK?
It's like you have to stay with your you have to stay with your culture. I mean, in the UK, we have Africans, Caribbeans, we have Nigerians, Jamaicans, Ghanaians. You have to stay black. Everything has to be black.
So to the West Asians, or we call the Muslims, or the West Asians, as you guys call them, the Indians, the Pakistanis. I'm like, who do they stay with?
Themselves.
Themselves.
Yeah,
It's normal. It's normal. Okay.
I feel you, but I'm saying BJS, right? Like in terms of like obviously as passport bros, like traveling around the world, exploring different women, right? My main question out there is do you go with your heart or do you go with your mind, right? So your heart.
You're supposed to go with your mind, okay? But thing is, what is the hardest thing to do? And I've been in this game, damn it, 14 years. Okay, what is the hardest thing to do for anybody, especially men? Change their what? Change their worldview. Okay, you got educated PhD guys that have been married to black American women, didn't work out, and go get a black African woman because they want the same color, because that's their preference.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
So black in the UK means something completely different than black in the United States.
Okay, so basically, right. So let's say, right, you got a dude that is into Asian women, East Asian women. That's his personal preference.
That's his personal preference.
But in the back of his mind, he understands that being with a black woman makes sense for cultural reasons, for stability, understanding each other, lesser issues, but he's not physically attracted to black women as much as he is to Asian women.
Within something that he has to do the return on investment. What's more important to you? I mean, that's a dilemma, but that happens all the time. What's more important to you? The reason that most black men in America don't date out as much is because there's a harsh penalty for dating out. Not only with our women, but also the men on the opposite end of the scale. It's even happening in Africa, where the Africans don't want African American men to date their women, which is I found kind of strange.
So you're saying that a lot of Black American men are actually forced themselves to like Black American women, even though they don't really like them like that,
Okay.
bro? How can you like do that for many years, bro? Just smash a chick you don't like, bro. I go crazy,
Okay.
bro. I think anyone in the panel will go crazy.
Okay. The thing is, until I think the millennials start to lighten up again, maybe only 2% dated out. Okay. In fact, every Black guy I know that's married to, especially to a white woman, okay, or other, okay, you don't want to get pulled over in America by a cop and have a woman that's not Black in your car. It's not going to be a good day for you.
Okay, but I feel you, bro. But we're passport bros. We're not looking at today in America anymore. I'm saying like you're abroad, right? Either
Yeah.
you get but basically my question is that you're gonna have like your choice. It will be a Black African woman, a Black Caribbean woman, or a Black Latina woman, or a foreign Asian woman or foreign Latina. Now, or let's say Eastern European white chick, right? Out of all these options, you're most attracted to foreign, let's say Eastern European white woman, right?
Okay.
However, you know, your mind is telling you you're a passport bro, go for Black African, Black Caribbean, you know, Black Latin America. What do you do?
What happened to Black soldiers in World War I that went to Germany, went to France, and went to the UK? They married white women. Okay. When at World War II, who they marry? White women. When they went to Korea, what they bring back? Korean women. Okay. Black men been doing that. It's not unusual. It's not new. Okay.
But so interrupt you, brother.
So passport bros is just and I know well, shout out to King Sigma who actually started the hashtag passport bros back in 2018. Okay. The thing is, the difference is why I encourage all the passport bros to go out and document the differences in culture from being overseas, because Black American culture, especially Black female American culture, is upside down. Okay, doesn't exist anyplace else on the planet.
But brother, here's yeah, I interracial dating for Black men has been happening for many years.
Yeah, on a small scale.
Yeah, and I know most Black men still date and marry Black women.
Yes.
However, we're passport bros, and there's other black men and Black women. They're kind of seen it as, wasn't your mother Black? Wasn't your sister Black? You're portraying you don't love yourself.
They've been saying that for 200 years, and guess what? The passport bro. I'll tell you, I'm in California. Guess who my son is married to? He's a Black man. His mother's jet black. Guess who he's married to?
A white woman?
A Latina. Okay.
In California.
In California, the border chicks, the Latinas are cleaning up on the Black men. Okay.
Yeah.
It's because finally, guess what? We have room to actually expand and have options. Black men didn't have options for 200 years. Now they do.
I want to go over to Tonaron. He's been quiet. What's up, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just listening.
He lives in Gynocracy Central too.
Yeah, I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So Tono, like, what's your thoughts, bro, on the stream topic?
Well, because I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and because I was dealing with these women, I had to end up going to Colombia and bring my Colombiana back to the States. And so everything is going very well. And I mean, I got guys that are jealous because I'm one of the few guys that have a woman cooking for them every day, praying for them every day. I got a woman who's just being polite, smiling. I mean, I got a woman that's taking kids away from other women. They just walk up to her because she's always smiling. Always got a smile on her face. Yeah. And kids are leaving their mothers and fathers and going to my wife and just and leaving with her. We have to pull the kids off of my wife.
Yeah. I want to ask the brother in the UK. Okay, you guys come from I don't know how many different countries, right? Okay, because you're part of the I think is it the Commonwealth?
Yeah.
British Commonwealth? Okay. You guys come from what 20, 25 different countries when you guys come to the UK as Black people?
Okay. Around that. Grenada, Jamaica, Ghana. Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys get from being pro-Black? That's what I want to know. Because I know what I get from it. So, and I know you guys adopted pro-black from what we do. So, what do you guys get from it? Because you guys been intermarrying 50% for the last. I tried like last 30 years, so it's not new for you guys.
Brother, I can't even.
I can't even.
I can't even answer that. That's the problem.
Because we started a London line with my old show back in 2004, right? We're actually calling back when you guys are really going through that big black, I'm gonna say, the consciousness movement. Okay, in 2004 up until like, I guess what did you guys stop, kind of slowed down 2015 or something like that. But thing is, we were always curious. Okay, you guys are adopting the same language that we had, and we're curious. Okay, what is causing you guys to do the same thing? Because we know why we did it. Okay. I mean, it's obvious slavery and Jim Crow, okay, and oppression for 250 years, okay? We know why we did.
Okay.
We don't understand why you guys did, because you guys are not native, or most guys are not native to that soil. And you guys went during the right after World War II, during the Windrush for the most part, okay?
Yeah,
I'm just
Windrush
wondering,
was a big deal.
what does pro-black mean to you guys in the UK? That's what I'm curious about.
I mean, but that's separate discussion, man. I want to keep on like the basketball stuff.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to go too deep. So I want. Sorry, bro. I just want to shed the love a bit on this.
Okay.
On the panel. Turner Runner. Let me ask this, bro. So, are you attracted to Latina women as a personal preference, Turner Runner, or are you like, or do you prefer black women? Do you mind answering that, bro? Like, or is Latino your actual preference?
Well, I mean, I guess my preference is Latinas, but I was always, and I was thinking that was something to not do. I was trying to be as close for called, I guess, pro-black, and trying to say, oh, my sisters are black and I need to support the black community, and I want to have black children, and they always talking about black men. But at the end of the day, when you have to find somebody that's going to be on your side and be on your program.
Mm-hmm.
And if these black women don't want to act right, you just wasting time trying to make something that's not there. Black women have to be able to want you and be respectful and do what you need them to do.
That's what's going on. Yeah.
If they're not going to do that, you have to go because you're the man. So if you're the man, then you got to be the leader and be in charge.
So
and if woman's not going to let you do that, then you're going to have to find a woman who will let you be the leader and will follow you.
So it's more about his head than his heart.
So why didn't you go after, let's say, Black African, Black Caribbean, or even like Black Afro-Latina Turner Runner out of interest? If you actually had that preference for Black women, but obviously Black American women are not on your wavelength.
Before I met my blonde hair, great eyed Latina, I had a Panamanian sister, Afro Panamanian sister, and she had some of the same problems that these black sisters have here in America.
Where was she from? Was she from Panama?
Okay. Yeah, Panamanian.
Okay.
Her mother was Colombian, Afro-Colombian, and her father was Panamanian Jamaican.
Okay, where she grow up?
In Panama, Cologne.
Okay.
And I brought her over here to meet my family, and I tried to do some things, but a lot of things that I just didn't get from her, and the jealousy and all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And wanting to physically fight, and I was like, baby, I cannot be in that situation.
You sure she wasn't from the States, man?
No, I met her in Panama City, and I dated her in Panama City, and I brought her over here to meet
and she became black overnight, huh?
No, yeah, I mean, just some of her friends or whatever had the same. They too close to America. They had too many.
I guess so. Yeah,
the American sisters go over there and teach them the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question for the brother who's married to the Colombian woman. Would you say that culturally, your wife is closer to your grandmother's value than is your wife culturally closer to the values that your grandmother had than the average woman in Atlanta right now?
Oh, of course. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Although grandma and the gynocracy are is a
That's true.
lot. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, so closer, yes, but the same. No, not even close.
I mean,
So,
she's the kind of woman that still to this day, her father will get all the girls together and pray for 30, 40 minutes.
Mm.
And they all follow along the man. That's just not happening here in America.
Mm-mm.
no, but I still feel like, I personally feel like race and culture, race is important. I do honestly believe that, and I do get the point where, okay, I have a personal preference for East Asian, what, Korean or white Latinas, right? I get that, right? But I also believe that race is very important. Having a black woman who understands you as a black man, knows what you go through, knows what you went through, for 100 years, slavery, etc., knows black culture. I just feel like we can't just like brush that to the side for personal preferences. But at the same time, yes, that's important, right? But if you're not attracted to, black women like that, and you get with one, right, it's gonna be very hard to be having actual relations with her, every week, where you're not actually attracted to her, and you're thinking, so let's say you're smashing her, right? We are smashing her while thinking about this Asian girl or this Latina chick, and I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's healthy. So it's like, what do you do? And I feel like, both sides have a good argument going with your personal preference, but at the same time, being with your own race of woman also makes sense as well. It's a really hard time, But anyone else want to chime in? 007, blah blah blah, or expand.
That's why you have to do a cost benefit analysis on what you want. Especially compatibility more important to you than your peace and stuff like that. If that's the case, you go with your black woman.
Because I mean, I needed a woman to do certain things, right? And I mean, simple things. I wanted a woman that would cook. I wanted a woman that would clean. I wanted a woman to, pray for me. Give me praise when I good. And so I had to go where that was, there and respectful. A lot of these black women in America are disrespectful to. I mean, they're just even to guys who do everything. They're disrespectful. So, I mean, that's one of the biggest things. You got to have a woman that respects you. So if you're going black and the woman's disrespecting you and not on your program and not helping you, because that's what her job is. Her job is to be your helpmate. If she ain't helping you, if she's fighting against you, then what are we doing? We got to have a woman that's going to be a helpmate, that's going to be on your side, pursuing just to keep the color. Because like I said, if you're the man, my kids are coming out black. They're not coming out white. Whatever, even if I get a white woman with blue eyes, blonde hair, they don't come out light skinned.
They'll come out light skinned, but some of them do come out white, bro. It's rare, but some of them do come out white, bro.
It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some NBA players.
Yeah, that's true. But you have some albinos too from two brown skinned people. But I mean, it is that's because we are the original man. We got we got everything inside of us.
Thing is, right, I'm gonna make a point of that. I'll come back to that later on, that original man stuff, right? I want to raise a point here, right, about how important is extra compatibility. I feel like we don't speak about that enough. Before I bring in Neymar, right, I feel like sexual capacity, capacity, keeping it PG, is extremely important. And I know we're conservative men, we try to like not think about SS all the time or bring in conversations, right? But if you're going to be married to a woman for the next couple of decades, right, there will be some bedroom activity going on frequently. And like, if she feels like you're not in it or you're not attracted to her, that marriage or relationship is over. It's over. I'm sorry. And how highly should you actually, let's say, take actual compatibility? I think very high, bro. And I think that should be actual questions when you're dating a chick. Are you actually attracted to me? Like literally. I mean,
it can't just be a question. You gotta, I know religiously people have a different view, but you gotta take it for a test drive to know, because you could be attracted to her, and then between her legs is an NFL football field. It's too loose. It's too flabby. You know what I mean? You gotta take it for a spin to figure out if you guys can, because I've been attracted to women and you know, had fun with them and been like, okay, this what she has there is not great. So you got to figure that out ahead of time.
In some cases, it could be AstroTurf.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh man, what's up, mate? Go on, Dems.
Let me ask you this question before the other brother speaks. I'll give you a scenario. You're in a library, right? And you see this beautiful Latina chick. She's from Panama. Peanut butter, cocoa butter skin, jet black hair. Now, you get to meet her. You like her. You're physically attracted to her. She's God-fearing, traditional, and you get to know her. But you have this other chick. She's Ghanaian, gorgeous chick, but she's a bit strict. But you like her as well. You get to spend time with her. You get to know her family. Who are you going with? Now you spent time with both. You spent time with both chicks, and then meet both of your requirements. Who are you going for? IP.
Oh, it's a peanut butter chick. Is she black?
She's Afro-Latino, but she has jet black hair.
Yeah.
She's from,
Basically, that's going to get to which one is, you know, which one you like the most, but which one likes you the most.
No. The scenario, the scenario is they both like him. They both like IP.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good question.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Because he's saying about the Panamanian chick. I think you gotta consider the culture aspect, because race in the Hispanic world is a little different. They have a different categorization with race. And when you say peanut butter, are we talking like somebody who's brown skinned, like a morena, or somebody who identifies as Afro-Panamanian? See, there's a distinction right there you have to understand.
Okay, let's go for okay.
You got dark skins there, because like in certain places they don't say, it's not black and white like it is in the Anglosphere of the Americas. In the Hispanic sphere, it's white, light skin, brown skin, black, and anything in between. That's how they distinguish themselves.
Okay, let's say brown skin.
Okay, a morena, as they say. Okay,
they're both like IP. The beautiful Ghanaian sister, and the Panamanian brown skin sister. He gets to know both of them. They love him attractively, physically, culturally. He's a man of God. IP, who are you gonna choose?
I'm going to choose the woman I'm more attracted to. They're both black, right? This is my point here about actual compatibility. I'm going to choose one who I'm actually attracted to from a looks perspective. I think, looks, I know this is shallow, right? But looks are extremely important. And I think expat race, how, like, amongst black families, your dad or mom gives you some chick from the Caribbean or Africa to marry her. You look at her, it's some fat black chick, and you're thinking like, come on, mom, come on, dad. Like, you expect me to marry that? Like, be serious here, parents, please. So at the same time, right, if we apply that logic, you need to look at who are you attracted to on a physical basis. Does the athlete have a banging body? Is her face cute? Okay, I'm gonna pick her. That might sound shallow, but that's gonna be a woman I'll be smashing several times in a week, bro. And I need to enjoy it, and I need to be into it. And I know this might sound crazy, but we are men, bro. Why would you want to smash a chick, brother, that you don't like for the next 30 years? You're gonna suffer mentally, bro. You're gonna suffer mentally. Trust me. You will probably cheat. You probably will cheat, bro, or divorce.
One thing that's important is, like, I think sometimes the framing is that, like, we got to consider, like, for guys that live abroad, make money from all different parts of the world, we're the anomalies, right? We're not the statistical norm. So there's this expectation that we still have, because it's been given to all black men, that we need to, like, put an S on our chest and save the black race. I don't see it like that. When I was single and I was dating, if there was a black woman, I would give her a little bit more leeway on certain things, and I would give her preference. But the reality is, if there's a better woman for me, she's more attractive, your values align better, family, this, that would make a better wife. I would never be like, okay, let me pick the worst woman to marry. That's just not how that works, right? We don't need to bail out the entire race. I think it's ridiculous.
And the most valuable thing we have is time. You give these black women the chance, and they just wasting your time. You go where you are appreciated and wanted. You can't just waste time with these.
Thank you, Patrice O'Neill.
They ain't acting right, because that's the most valuable thing. You got time. So some of you waiting around to find this perfect black woman, and and they passing by other women that would be suitable for you and would help you advance in your career, in your life, and ready to have your children and stuff like that. And these other girls are confused. So you got to, so that's the most important thing. Guys don't realize time is your most important thing. If you're trying to make a life with somebody and have children, just like we talk about women have a clock, we have a clock too. But our clock is longer than theirs, but we still have a clock. So you can't be waking up at 65 and talking about, I want to start this family. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be kind of hard.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's not possible for you. I mean, a man can sire children well into his 80s, but as long as he's sexually active and healthy, he can still sire strong children. The problem is for women, it is
at 65. But if you're trying to have a bunch of children at 65,
I want to bring in Creative and James. Creative, you want to chime in, bro? And I'll go to James after. Creative CL, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Yo, how you doing, IP? How you doing, gang? I'm gonna, I guess, like maybe present the different side to this argument. One of the things that I don't know if we've touched on, but like it's the idea of like bringing children in a monoracial like environment versus a biracial environment, whether it's a black man, Latino woman, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'll be honest with you. From my point of view, I have never seen a biracial person who has grown up in a happy home. And that's just the honest truth. Like, it's either the grandparents don't like them or don't really mess with the black dad, or some weird things that are going on. I remember talking to one of my coworkers. He's a black man with a white woman. He had to basically like kowtow to get favor from like the white father and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. Like, for me, from my point of view, I think you really have to make your bed before you bring children or even think about starting a family with your non-black significant other.
My pushback on that is, how many black families do we know where everybody's black and they all hate each other?
Well, there are a lot. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot. But the thing is that I know a lot of like it's not like 100%, But I'm saying that with biracial families, I noticed that a lot of them is like, the white side of the family, the cousins don't really mess with them, or they call them all kinds of slurs, or the grandpa don't like them, or the mom don't like them, or the dad. Like it's a whole lot of that. I've never met like a normal family that just like accepts them for who they are. That's just what I've gotten from all the interracial stuff.
I would say that's definitely, I see that a lot, especially in like Canada too, right? But I would say like those men are weak. Like, why are you subjecting your kids to that? Like, why are you tap dancing around? Hey, let me try my best to make my racist in-laws like me. Who cares what they think? Isolate your family from them. You're a man. Go and start your tribe somewhere else. Move away from them and raise your family. Like, what like imagine like you go through school, you go through work, and now it's like, oh crap, I gotta get these, my in-laws' approval. Like, there's no point in that. You have your wife for a reason. You get her, you marry her, you have kids with her. If your family, the extended family is supportive, it doesn't matter if it's the same race or not. If your extended family is supportive and likes you, that's great. If they're going to be a good influence to your kid, that's great. If not, whether they look like you or not, get away, because they're just going to drag you down regardless.
I agree 100%. It's about you. You are the man. You are the king. You starting your family. You are the king. She's the queen. It's your family. I mean, now, if you're getting married to the woman, you're going to go into her family. You should check out her family. And you should make sure, because I mean, the family of my wife, they love me. The grandmother, the father, they pray for me. They hug and kiss on me. So I mean, I'm lucky to have that. But even if I didn't have that, it's up to me and my wife to understand, and I have to understand my wife. What kind of woman is she? Does she need her family? If that's what she needs, then it might not be sense for me to marry her if she has racism, racists in her family and stuff like that. But you have to find out who she is and who you are, and you have to understand that if you're going to be the man, then you have to be the man. And if her family is not going to be with the program, then you need to remove her from her family. If she handle that? If she, some women can't handle it. So you need to let those women go and find a woman that's going to be on your program. I would say women have to be on your program. And if you're lucky enough to find a woman whose family is down with you, that's a great thing. But you have to be in charge of what you got to do. You got to have your eyes open.
Let
And
me bring in James.
to
Oh, go on,
go
bro.
ahead.
Go on.
All
Let
right.
me bring-
Go ahead,
let me
James.
bring in James.
I'll come after James. I'll come after James.
James, do you want to chime in on this discussion, bro? James, if you're there. Okay, James may be busy. Over to you, Neymar.
No,
Thank you.
I had my mic paused. I didn't know it. If race matters, then you're racist. The only time race matters is if one of them is black. White guys bring home Latinas, they bring home Asian women, and there is no dent into their social structure, their family foundation, because you go on their program. Okay. And with white women, it would always matter because they have to keep them in control. At the end of the day, it's about white supremacy and making sure black people are on a heel. There's only one way for you to approach this. What do you want? What's going to make you happy? And what do you need to do to make sure nobody screws that up? Because if you let them, they will. If you let someone tell you you need to make adjustments because of the race of your partner, then they got you. And the only time someone harps about the race of your partner is because it makes them feel a certain way. They'll tell you that your kids you need to marry a black woman so that your kids can come out black. That's for them. It has nothing to do with you. And if it did, that would imply that if your kid comes out looking a certain race, then you're going to have a problem with it. That's disturbing. And you need to seek professional help. I do not care about the race of the person that I'm dating. And if anybody's got a problem with it, you're going to have a problem with me. I don't care if you're my mother. Okay, I get one life, and so do you. You live, you die, and it's over forever. You ain't coming back. Okay, how much time do you got on this planet? How much time have you spent seeking your ultimate happiness? What does that look like? Why would you let someone bring in something as pivotal as race for you to make setbacks or to come off track to make adjustments when you are doing just fine by yourself, seeking your ultimate happiness? We go overseas. We go to different cities. We do all this to seek that happiness. No one cares if it doesn't go right for you if you listen to what they said. They just say, oh, well, your problem. And then you tell them to find out that they're doing all the things that they told you not to do, and they're doing just fine. They don't care what happens to you, and they're never going to care, nor do they have to. If race matters, you're racist. If what you have makes you happy, if it's a white girl, I don't care what race she is, you're going to, when she makes you happy, you're good. And every black man knows that they've crossed white women, Asian women, Hispanic women, Indian women, that they said, man, this girl will be dope to have in my life. Or just say, she's not the right race, so I'm going to go seek somebody else. It's probably going to take me a long time to find that, which was into me. But, well, at least I'm going for the black. And nobody cares.
And anyone else disagree? Go on, Dems.
No, he's talking the truth. He's talking the truth.
No, sorry.
Like
Go on, Dems.
It's a short lifetime.
Hold up, bro. Dems, fire away.
No, the brother James is spitting facts. He's spitting again, it's personal happiness. It's personal happiness. Like no one cares about a black. What I've seen IP, especially in the UK, no one cares about a brother, a black man, until he dates outside his race. They'll no, especially UK black women. They don't bat an eye on him until he dates a white woman. Then they'll look at him and say, who's he with? Why is he with her? Have you've noticed that IP, and I know brothers have noticed that as well. Whenever a brother dates outside his race, then the attention comes to him.
1000%. In Toronto, the easiest way to get in the club is to go to the club with women who are black. If you're a black man.
Could you repeat that? Please?
He said that he said in Toronto, James.
Yeah, I really want him to repeat it. You guys don't mind, because I want to make sure I heard him right.
Yeah, I was gonna say in Toronto, the easiest way to get in the club as a black man is to show up with 2 non-black women.
Shout out to the dot. I have to bring a different perspective into this because I'm on both sides of this. I see things from both sides of the passport bros, because one, I'm from the other side. Now, I'm a naturalized European citizen, but before that, I came from the developing world, and I understand. I came from East Africa, and I understand what it means to be in this group and that group. So I understand the dynamics a little bit. And some people fail to realize when you guys are going over there, and this is something I always say, when you get involved with a woman of a different ethnicity, nationality, race, or whatever, one group of people you're going to have to contend with are the men in her immediate family and in her community. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with that woman in your country or if you're going abroad to deal with them. You have to deal with the men and other members of that family, because they oftentimes have a collective way of thinking. Individualism has no place for the most part. So if a woman marries into a family, it's about, first of all, it's not about her happiness. It's about family alliance. I mean, sorry, I didn't get the host's name exactly. IP, is it?
IP, yes. Oh, are you new to the channel?
IP.
You're new?
No, I'm first time up here, first time to join the stream, but I've watched some of your streams sporadically. But IP, the thing is, like, people fail to realize is, like, these women, when they have this thing, they have to understand there's a concept of family duty, family honor, they have to protect. So when they're getting involved with you, and the women and the men sometimes will say, okay, what's the point of her marrying this person, that person? They still have misconceptions about black men as they do of white men. And if you are going to marry into that family, you have to understand what kind of individuals they are. Like, one, for example, North African women who do marry with European men, their families see this is going to be useful because that way we can use this son-in-law in particular just to get a leg into Europe or into North America, wherever this individual is from, because this guy's like an easy entry visa of sorts. Sometimes they don't understand that these men are trying to embrace into the culture, but you have to do your diligence to understand these cultures as well. I myself, I understand that type of dynamics, and I have African American men in my own family, and some of them had a hard time just coming in, but when they were embraced, they knew they were accepted because we would give them like a certain name in our native language. Especially if it was a biblical name, we would tell them that, like, our version of it. But these are things that some people forget. When you come into one society, if you're trying to get a woman from that particular society, you have to understand the society she comes from and how they get down. And I myself personally, as a man of that particular group, we catch all kinds of hell if we try to date with women of other races or of other ethnicities. I once had my relatives tell me, because I live in Scandinavia, you better not get with a Scandinavian woman. I had to flip that by looking at my aunt and say, Auntie, it could have been a whole lot worse. She said, what do you mean? I said, what if, because they're, first of all, I'm from Eritrea, but there are also Ethiopians and other East African nationalities here. I said, well, it could have been a whole lot worse. Imagine if I got involved with a Somali woman. That stopped her right in her tracks. Because she could not try to shame me about getting involved who I wanted, because I understood what she was trying to say. Remember your duty as a member of our tribe and of our ethnicity. You marry someone because it's a part of an alliance. And I understand that tradition, but I'm like, some people don't understand what, have to understand. But what I'm saying is passport bros have to understand when they get involved with those certain groups, you got to understand the cultural mindset that some of these people have. You know what I'm saying? Arm yourselves with the knowledge. Some people come in sometimes with rose tinted or sometimes fecal tinted glasses. You know what I'm saying? I got to give that warning to some brothers. Some people don't even understand what they're getting involved in. And to CL's point earlier about he has never met any mixed race people who are happy or come from happy relationships. He is partially right. There are those who've been welcomed in. And white men, they don't talk about this. When they marry a person of a different race and they bring them to the family, that woman is going to catch all kinds of hell, low key, from the women in his family at certain times. I've heard it, I've seen it, and heard it with my own eyes. Those women just, and you understand the hypocrisy of it.
Wow. No, thanks for that, Neymar. Great breakdown. And before I go on to any other callers, someone said here, 3 sisters attacked my blonde girlfriend in London. They were screaming, "Stay the F away from brothers." What the? Did that happen, bro? Please, bro. Please tell me that's cat, man. Please tell me that's cat, bro. I know. Go on, bro.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. Let's go back to what I'm saying. Whenever a brother is with a snow bunny, a rice bunny, a Latino, or any non-black woman, they get attention.
A taco bunny. Yeah, a taco bunny.
They get attention from sisters, because who is this woman? Why is he with her and not with us?
To 007's point. To 007's point, I got 2 examples of what he's talking about. If anybody remembers Chris Rock, in what was it? Shoot the Messenger? No, Kill the Messenger. That was his special, where he was like he did the special in 3 places simultaneously: London, Johannesburg, and in New York. He talked about he got black women mad at him when he said that President-elect at that time, Obama, is going to need a white wife because a black woman is going to be a hindrance for the first black president. And women got mad at him because of that. And he also talked about how black women hate it when they see a black man with a white woman. They're like, get away from them. We only have 8. Another example was a scene from the movie Save the Last Dance, where Kerry Washington and Julia Stiles have a conversation in which Julia Stiles is involved with Kerry Washington's younger brother. And they have a discussion about an incident that took place with an ex of his and Stiles. And Washington just breaks it down in such a way where she's expressing her own contempt that her brother is involved with a white woman. And she speaks of the frustration black women have with these brothers involved with white women. And they say, we got to compete just for these guys in this one because y'all taking all the good ones. And this, that, and the third. And she does not apologize for offending her in the process.
And gentlemen, we have black women right now going to Thailand, Vietnam, and looking at black men with those kind of women and having a hard time dealing with it. We have women all over the internet in Thailand upset that black men are with these Thai women and not giving them any attention. We have women have to leave Thailand because they can't get a man, they can't get a date from the Thais, from the blacks, from anybody.
I dated a black woman when I was in Thailand, which I will be going back to. Yeah, she was dope. She was dope. She was dope. She had a beautiful body. She kind of basically had that American about her, but it was light. She was giving off those Kenyan girl vibes. Now she's not on that level. It's hard for a black woman in the US to get on that level and still be down to earth enough to want to date a decent regular brother. All right. That's pretty hard to, I mean, you know what I'm talking about on that IP. You go to Kenya, man, you're not even gonna bother with a black woman in the US. There's no reason to. What you get in Kenya. I'm gonna go on a tangent about Kenyan women. But anyway, I did it out there and she seemed like she was humble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what
Because
they do get humbled out there.
Yeah,
they get
you know what
humbled
I'm
out there.
No. She was humbled back in the US. I think she left the United States because same reason I left the US. She wanted to get away from all that because it wasn't her. Okay. And she was talking to me about because of the fact she wasn't in the US no more, it was easy for her to get into the right state of mind to get one of us, brothers like me. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but level-headed brother, my finances right. I ain't messing with the BS. You do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing, I'm out. She knows how hard it is to get brothers like me. I'm 6'1", 420 pounds, low body fat. I'm a decent looking brother. Okay. A lot of women in the US would say, I ain't nothing. I'm one of those educated lames or nothing, or you know what I'm talking about. And that they won't even go for me. But when she, right. So when they see me and they go, wait a minute, oh, he is a good catch. And they try to get me, then they realize, actually, no, you can't get me. Even though for all your life you've been saying you don't want me, you can't get me. I don't want you. She knew that when she wanted to get someone, she needed to get away from all of it. Because even if she date me, I'm still going to be around her friends. I'm still going to be closer to, I'm going to be, and it's going to mess it up for her. It's going to be hard for her to stay in that state of mind. That's what she told me. I was like, you have the most healed mind I have ever crossed and a sister in the United States. Only time I come across sisters like that is when they're married.
Just a moment. This woman is African American, or is she African? African American.
Yes.
African American. Okay.
Yes.
Black woman. Okay. African American. Okay. Because think about it. She left the U.S. and relocated to Thailand. And what happened when she relocated to Thailand? She escaped the dysfunction of her home environment.
Pretty much.
Understand. People forget that Black people in the West, Black women, and Black people in the U.S. Your societal structure is dysfunction. It's been, and that's been imposed upon y'all throughout the 400 years y'all been there. The same goes for Afro-Latinos, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Canadians. Y'all dealt with dysfunction of some shape or form. That has spilled over also into Western Europe with their Black populations, maybe they coming from in the Caribbean or from Africa.
Sorry,
it's been imposed upon us.
I think expat wants to
excuse
chime
me.
in. Expat
excuse me.
Or creative, just so we share the love a bit. So go on, expat.
All right.
No, I think it's an interesting conversation, and I think the brothers raise a good point. Like, at the end of the day, we become expats for a reason, right? We move abroad. Like, the West is cooked. Doesn't matter which part of the West you take, it's over. And we move abroad for all these reasons, to get away from it, to better ourselves, better health, safety, money, all that. There are Black women that do the same, right? Like, IP, you probably know there's a good amount of Black American women who are well off that have moved to Portugal recently, right? Lower taxes, obviously better safety. So I don't think like that's a bad point either. Is like you can meet when you move abroad, really kind of on the same level as us, same frame of mind for the most part, Black women, and they could be from the West. So I think that's a great point, and one of the benefits of being abroad. And some of the stuff that comes up, like, hey, your family's going to look at you a certain way, or one brother brought up, and this is true. Like I had the same experience in Canada when I would walk around with a non-Black woman. There would be a lot of really salty service workers that would treat me weird. But when you move abroad, you don't have to deal with that. So some of these things are true, but they stop mattering once you leave the West. And it's like, that's part B of it, is like you find your woman, but where are you going to live? And it probably shouldn't be the West. So that's the way I'd kind of break it down, is like some of those problems you stop experiencing as soon as you get away from the West anyway.
Yeah, and she was also in a different culture. So that
Right.
can also affect the woman if she's in a different culture and she sees that the same stuff that works in America is not working over there. She has to change her mindset. And, that's what we looking for, a woman that's going to get on our program. And it looked like she was trying to get on your program over there, but she might not have been the same as she was over here.
She was,
Creative.
yeah, she was.
Sorry. Sorry,
go ahead.
James.
No,
Creative. Do you want to chime in? Because your point about having mixed race kids, I want to delve into that a bit. I think that's important, right? Okay, so black men on this panel, right, and creative chime in, right, if I'm wrong here, right, like, are you happy having the half black kids, and there's a possibility that your half black child will date a non-black person, then the grandchild will be core black, that core black child will date a non-black person, and then but in like 3 generations, the black thing is like, I'm gonna put you on mute, James. And then in 3 generations, like your kid doesn't look like none of them look like you, like your grandkids, right? They might be completely white or completely Asian. That's also a thing as well. Are you guys happy about that? Because that is a trade-off, in being with a half black woman. Because so if a non-black woman, because that non-black woman, right? If you have a son that is half black, half Asian, and he has a preference for Asian woman because his mom is Asian, grew up in Asian society, he then dates an Asian chick, has a child with her, core black son, lives in Asia as well, attracted to Asian woman. You might have an Asian son that looks something like you down the line. Are you guys cool with that?
I mean, like you said, it's trade-offs, and I understand that. There's a trade-off. But if you're going to, the thing is really, this is what the women's supposed to uphold the culture. If the women not going to get on a program, it's just, you're fighting against yourself. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be the ones that are about that, to get that on there. And that's the thing. As long as you can find one that's going to get on your program, but if you can't, and other ones will, you got to go where you're wanted and appreciated.
No relationship will function on a woman's program. What kind of program can a woman have anyway?
Dysfunction.
That's right.
What are you following? Right. You can't follow anything. If you follow her, then she's going to be interested in somebody else. Somebody else is going to hit it. It's just
she's going to look at you as weak. So you got to be on your program. So
I went to war with this girl, this Puerto Rican girl from Staten Island. I went to war with her in a debate about this, and she refused to give up, man. She was wrong. She never proved a point. The only thing she was able good at is because she was saying, like, a lot of women who want men on their program are high caliber women who are very attractive, very successful. And if you are willing to get on her program, then she's going to be loyal to you. You got her. Y'all got something. You just got to make sure you're following that lead. And I say, I've seen these before. I talked to you about this a while ago. Those high caliber women, that they like those kind of men. Those are the kind of men who are willing to follow them that they want. They won't want anything else. Who the most famous person is that? Jennifer Lopez. You have to be on her program. If you go on her program, you can get her. Okay? And dudes just been like, man, if I could come home to that, then I might as well just do it. And they may work out. But still, she's not going to respect you. Like A-Rod. A-Rod was like, no, I'm A-Rod. And he tried to believe me. A-Rod was following some of Jennifer's program. Trust me, or she wouldn't have messed with him. Okay? Y'all see other women see him as this, whoa, we got to get him. Jennifer Lopez didn't look at him like that. She looked at him like, he's attractive, he's successful, and he's respecting me. Okay, you're good. You can get me off, and you won't piss me off when we're, just living with each other, socializing with each other, with you being around my children. He checked some boxes. But the one box that he didn't check was the one that she didn't require him to check. Are you going to be on my program officially? and it was no, and that was it. Ben Affleck,
Also, keep in mind,
that's why he's
James.
on
Keep
it.
in mind, yeah, James, you're forgetting a couple things here.
What's up?
One, Jennifer Lopez is a Puerto Rican, right?
Right.
A-Rod is what?
He's Dominican, right?
A-Rod,
Yeah.
A-Rod is Dominican. He's a Dominican from Queens. He's a Dominican from Queens. J-Lo is a Puerto Rican from the Bronx. You know how the Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans all, sometimes be side-eyeing each other and everything. They have their animosities. Latinos in general all hate each other in some shape and form. So there was that aspect.
Wait. I got to cut in. Dominicans roll with Puerto Ricans more than any other Latinos. Okay? That's who they run with. They listen to their music, they bite their style, and they run with them. That's who they copy. Dominicans copy Puerto Ricans. If they're not copying Puerto Ricans, they're copying black people. Well, they all copy black people. Okay? It's the Mexicans everybody got a problem with. They all hate Mexicans.
That's the most hated group. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's
wait a minute. That's the most hated group. But if I'm not mistaken, Puerto Ricans are the most hated among Latinos for one particular reason. What's the one thing that most Latinos have to go through in the U.S. compared to Puerto Ricans?
Keeping it PG, yeah?
Yeah.
But getting back to the woman side of things versus the race side of things, like, one thing I was going to say is like, because you actually brought up a really good point, which is like the women's program. I have to ask, because like we're like, it's a range, but we're all roughly in the same age group. Where in our life have we seen a women's program work? Like, I'm confused here, right? Like, if a woman wants you to get with her program, there was a woman that ran Germany and she destroyed Europe. There's a woman running Japan right now, and the yen is the lowest it's been since the 60s. Where in our life has there been a woman where we should be like, oh yeah, that's a program to follow? I don't see it. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of brothers don't want to date black women, because a lot of them have this idea, especially in like Georgia and some other places. The women think that we need to follow them, but they have there's no reason for us to follow them. Forget all the other masculine things. They have no examples of their program working anyway. It's just been failure. So I wouldn't even like, anytime I hear a woman bring that up, because I do hear it from Puerto Rican women, from black women, it's just not worth it. And that's another really strong reason to date a woman outside of the race, because a lot of them understand. White women are a bit different, but a lot of women understand they don't run the show, right? They're a really important part of it. Motherhood is sacred, being a wife is sacred, but they don't run the show. It's about us running the show. That's kind of the biggest part of it.
Correct. Look at Jennifer Lopez. How many husbands have she went through? And she's not married right now.
Angelina Jolie.
Right now. She had all the opportunities, and she's just she's a failure. As far as a lot of us see it, as far as men who want to have a woman be married, she's not. She's a failure. So all of that getting on women's program is usually ends up in failure.
Brother, I want to.
And Ben Affleck looks defeated.
Y'all, look.
Sorry. Let's get Dems.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, brothers. I want to touch upon what Brother Expat said. Yeah, when a woman runs things, everything just goes into the disaster. Look to the UK. Look at Margaret Thatcher. She was the longest serving PM. Look how she ruined the UK during the 1980s. And Liz Truss. Don't
forget Theresa May.
Yeah, Theresa May.
Theresa May.
How they just ruined.
And they were all from the Conservative Party. All from the Conservative Party. Yeah. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, but I want to touch upon another point for why black men are just tired of dating. They just refuse on dating black women. It's because majority the black community in the UK and the US is matriarchal. It's matriarchal. It goes back to the trauma. They don't want to experience what they had to deal with when their mothers were at the head of the table. They don't want to go through that again. It's the trauma part. It runs deep with black men, and black men do not want to discuss that because they're ashamed of it. They say, "Nah, I don't want to deal with black women because I had to deal with my mother." That's the trauma part. The
I want to
trauma
get
part in the youth.
I want to get a little fantasy with y'all, just a little bit. You don't got to dwell on it. The Mother of Dragons, Game of Thrones. Do you believe that she was looking for a strong man to follow, or did you have to get on her program?
Bro, you have to go on her program. Look what happened to her at the
Are
end
you
of the
sure?
series.
All right, you already said yours. IP, jump in.
Get on our program, bro.
You think so? Oh my. Okay.
Bro,
All right. Go ahead, rest of y'all.
Brother James, look
No, just go ahead.
No,
I'll
I'm
answer
just saying,
afterwards.
I'm just saying, look at what happened to Daenerys at the end of the series. Look what happened to her.
That's
Only
right.
Daenerys. Only
But
Daenerys.
wait a
Go
minute.
ahead.
It's really fun to have it like this. Okay, because we get more creative with it. She should have had a strong leader, or she would never have done that. She would have just found a way to just take Cersei out instead of doing all that. She lost herself. She needed a strong person. She didn't know it. You had to get in there and make her see that you are. She gave all these strong men opportunities, but she was not giving them any clues, and she was not going to show them the way to her heart. Follow that.
And she was extremely paranoid. Remember, she had a level of paranoia that developed as the show advanced. Excuse me.
But brother, let me play devil's advocate. She did find a strong man in Jon Snow. But what do you know? I'll give you. Do you know that scene when after the long night, after they beat the Night King and the Night Walkers, she was sitting down next to on the table with Starbucks coffee. She was just watching everyone praising Jon Snow. He was the hero.
The Starbucks coffee.
He's the hero. And look at her face. Quiet. Just look at her face. She didn't like that one bit.
No. You're forgetting, you're leaving a couple things out of there, 007. Very important things you're leaving out. First of all, Jon Snow was raised as a bastard, but he wasn't a bastard. He was actually a He was a Targaryen through his real father was Rhaegar Targaryen. His mother was Lyanna Stark. Ned Stark's older sister. Ned had to say this was my bastard child to protect him from Robert and everything.
Sorry, guys.
There's a point of okay, all right.
Let's go on track because I think a lot of dudes and they watch Game of Thrones, bro. If I could, our space back.
That was my fault. Okay, to get on back on track, if I may, because he brought a Game of Thrones reference here. Another example of a woman hell bent on getting everybody on her program was Cersei. What happened when she became queen?
No more Game of Thrones.
Okay. All right.
Let's go back. So
anybody?
Okay. Let me come here, right? I want to ask this.
Sorry.
So, I'm gonna go through everyone in this. So I'm gonna ask everyone this question. I'm gonna go through each person. Okay. Let's start with Expat. He's up on my list first. Expat, are you happy with, let's say, your lineage becoming non-black over time? Because let's say you potentially chose a non-black woman, married her, had a half black kid, prefers non-black woman. His child prefers non-black woman who's a male. Are you happy with that, Expat? And knowing that like you as a black man will be washed out down the line. And let's be real here, black men do have some interesting genetics, able to build muscle quicker, etc. And you're not having that figure of you in your image. Are you happy about that, Expat? We'll start with you, bro.
So I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit of a hypocrite, right? Like, I don't mind having mixed race kids. I'm definitely gonna bully my children, and at least one of them needs to have a black spouse. Is what it is. I like that black lineage needs to continue. So I might marry out the race, but I don't have any expectations of equality between me and my kids. So one of them has to marry a black person and have a completely black child, at least.
And you know what's funny, right? Like, you have to hopefully pray you have a couple of daughters, because I feel like, okay, from what I see from mixed race families, right, particularly half black, half white. So let's say you got a black dad and obviously white mom. they have like a half black, half white daughter. The daughter normally goes for black men. I've noticed that. But if it's reversed, bro, white dad, black mom, the daughter goes for white men. And
100% facts.
I've noticed that. And also, like, if you see, like, okay, so let's say half black man, half white woman, right? If they have a son, I've noticed the son goes for white woman.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? So it depends, like, because do you agree with that, expat? Is that what you've seen as well?
100%. You know, it's funny you bring that up. Like here in Japan, you'll see mixed race black women, but they're going for black guys that are in Japan, right? All the other like mixed race, gender, race, whatever, they're going for either Asian or white. So it is definitely something I've noticed. I think one thing is like, you know, a lot of men struggle with dating these days. So definitely I'll try to like, you know, help my son maybe find a woman who's black or whatever. But yeah, I'm at the perspective of like, I can just because I can do something doesn't mean my kids can. So I'm going to encourage them to marry a black person, not force, but encourage them and help them do it. Like, you know, Indians tend to, sometimes they marry out, but Indians typically only marry other Indians, right? But the thing is the parents set that up for them from a very young age. So, you know, if there's another black expat family that's living in Japan or, you know, somewhere nearby, and like, why would I not want my children to date them? You know what I mean? I would want them to have kind of the preference to be to that. So that's something that I'm going to make sure I always work towards is like always pushing my kids to try to find a black partner, but I have to be the filter for it so they don't date Pookie and Ray Ray.
But to follow up on your point there about Blasians in Japan going after black men, but I want to push back there a bit, expat, because when I was in Japan last time, right, I felt like, okay, I feel like Blasians are very complex. Like the Blasians in the rap community, hip hop, right, blah blah blah. Yes, they go for black men to an extent, but I did see some with Japanese dudes, and these Japanese dudes try their hardest to be as black as possible, bro. Wearing dreads, just like a streetwear, and also like. But if she's not in that hip hop scene, bro, actually I've seen Blasian women, even like Dems can actually back me up here. Like even like a Blasian woman who was like Miss World Japan a couple years ago, she married a Japanese dude, bro. I feel like, yeah, so it's the same about that. So if they live in Japan, bro, these Blasians, bro, I think predominantly they go for a Japanese guy over a black guy, bro.
Well, that's just math. Like the foreign population here is 3%, right? And then of the foreign population, a ton of them are just people that look Japanese. They're Chinese, Korean, everything else, right? Some of them are literally Japanese Americans. So you have like, I don't know, 2%, 1.5% that's like something other than East Asian, right? So, you know, yeah, that happens a lot, but the counterpoint to that is if you're anywhere near a U.S. military base, there's a ton of Japanese women who are married to black men, right? So it just kind of depends, right? Like when you put the women around black men, the math changes. When they're not around them, they can only date what's there.
Okay, thank you, expat. So let me go over to Dems. So Dems, question to you: like, are you happy with your lineage being non-black in the future? But let's say you get you get a white German chick, right? You have children, and it's a son. He goes with a white German girl. He has a son, another white German girl. Over time, your lineage will wash out, bro, and there'll be no black in your side of the family, bro. No one in your image. Are you happy with that, Dems? Are you cool with that?
Nah, bro, I'm gonna have to be a bit tyrannical here, man. Yeah, I can do it. It's the daughter. If I pray, I have a son and daughter, man. I pray to God because my son, he can date a white German chick, but my daughter, nah. But the thing is with the daughter, the first man in her life is her father. So if she's gonna most likely date a black man. Because she looks at me, it's like, I'm the first guy in her life. I'm her leader. I'm the one who raised her. So most likely, I pray that my daughter marries a black man. But my son, he can date a white woman or Asian woman.
Interesting.
It's the same with the mom. the first woman in a man's life is his mother. So if when I raise my children biracial, I hope my son, he can date a white woman because he's my son. But it's my daughter I'm gonna be tyrannical with, because yes, as much as I want, as much as I'm dating non-BWs, at least I want my daughter to just do it, just to preserve the race. Just do it.
Now, isn't it true that the reason why you want your daughter to be with a black man, isn't it true that you feel like that if
James,
he
I'll come
dates a
to you.
white
James, I'll come to you after, bro. I'll come to you in a bit, bro. I'm just going through everyone. So anything? So carry on, Dems.
That's how I'm seeing it, bro. I want to preserve the race, but again, I'm a hypocrite because yes, I'm dating outside of my race, but I want to continue it, but I want it through my daughter. But if I have two sons, for example, then I'm gonna enter a dilemma. I'm like, oh gosh. Imagine it's just two sons, because guys, they're gonna date whoever they want. You can't stop a guy. But with a daughter, with a girl, you can convince them more. Am I making sense, IP and brothers?
You're making sense, bro. But I feel like you guys, man, now you're putting out all sorts of excuses now, man. Like now I put out the hard question, man. Like I told you, man. I told you, dudes, man. Like when you think about it really deeply, both sides have good arguments. You know, is it worth staying out? Is it worth keeping into the culture and love? Because again, you know, like you have to really think about it really, really deeply. Someone says here, actually, I'll come to your question there, Damien. That's a good question there. So thanks, Dems. Let me go over to Tunnel Runner. Tunnel Runner, are you happy with your lineage becoming white Latin in 30 years, bro? No one looking like you, some white Latino, great grandkids, etc., bro. You cool with that?
No, I'm not cool with that. But the thing is, you have to understand the reason why Indians marry Indians, and because the men, the Indian fathers make sure that their daughters and their sons marry Indians. They're called arranged marriages, which work the best. They have the least divorce rate. They put people together and they make sure they are involved. So if you're going to be a black man and you want to have a black lineage, your lineages to be black in the future, you're going to have to make sure that you are involved with your daughters and your sons to make sure who they marry. You have to try to be seriously involved, and they are the most involved, and that's why you get the results that they get.
But the thing is, even though you're involved, right, nothing is fully certain. Your daughter can go to college, you know. Yeah, she's been with you 17 years of her life, bro, but she meets some tall 6'5" Chad or white guy, you know, that she really likes, and he likes her, you know. So like, nothing is really certain here, you know.
Yeah,
But
nothing's certain, but the reason why it works for them is because they are involved. You see, a lot of those girls that mess around in college, they end up marrying their Indian men later on because that's what they expected from them.
okay, thank you, bro. Over to
Those men are involved, and they actually remember the Bible have stonings and all kinds of stuff. We have that over here where we had to tell these foreign men that we can't do that over here in America.
over to Neymar. Are you happy with your lineage being a non-Eritrean in the future, bro? If we go with a non-black chick.
Well, first of all, having known many who are of mixed heritage, both, you know, and that is, for me, it's not just nationality, but also ethnicity, because of the ethnicity I belong to and everything. And I've had conversations about me getting married to someone of a different ethnicity or race. If I have children, I'm going to have a long and serious conversation with them, because racism and all that, we're going to have a conversation about that. Same if they are non-heteronormative, for that matter. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm just going to have to educate them and warn them and prepare them for life, for what is up ahead for them. just like I have to explain from a young age, they have to be aware of how the world's going to perceive them, and how much they have to worry about how, because because their father is this race, they're all automatically one drop is this. They're going to be subjected to certain stereotypes and whatnot. And it does not bother me as long as they know what they're doing and who they choose is righteous. Because my heritage is going to be passed on to them. They're still going to be of my lineage. They're going to have all this, that, and other things, but it doesn't matter. Because that somehow my grandchildren could end up being darker than their parents. And I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Thank you, bro. Mr. Creative, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Honestly, sorry. Go ahead and ask the question.
Yeah. Are you happy with your lineage potentially being completely non-black? If you give a non-black chick and then your children gets it for non-black, and then so on and so forth, bro. Is that something you're cool with?
Ooh, personally, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Like, it's that question that you asked that like pushes me more towards like the anti, natalist kind of thing path, because I'm looking at like, for example, statistically speaking, right? I think I've seen the numbers like a few years ago, like biracial children, like specifically half black, half white, or whatever, they typically marry white people. The chances of that, like that it greatly like rises, right? That's just the reality, right? And notice how like for example, the people talking about how the women have to get on their program and things of that nature, but people don't understand that usually, like, both children usually gravitate towards the women. When the man is out there working, the homemaker's a mom, right? So typically, like, they're both going to gravitate towards the woman's culture, right? And I've noticed that, for example, for biracials, who are typically with black fathers, specifically like the male side. I haven't dealt much with the female side because I have a lot of male biracial friends. They usually marry white, or they marry white, or they have white girlfriends or things of that nature. And I'll be honest, man, like, I don't think, if we're, like everybody said, it's not really it's not really fair, right? Like, you married a white person, but now you're kind of expecting the child to not marry a white person or a non-black person or whatever. And I'm saying, statistically speaking, the numbers are against you. You've kind of struck out, because they either marry another multiracial person, or they marry another a non black person, right? Or they marry a black person. So if we're looking at those chances, we're looking at what, 1 out of 4. Like, the numbers aren't really on your side. And to be honest, you kind of have to brace for the fact that maybe your lineage will be completely non-black, like Diana Ross, for those of you who don't know.
Facts. You know what, before I go on to James, right, that's a good point. Like, you married a white woman and you tell your son not to stay a white woman, or your daughter not to get a white guy. And imagine how your white wife will feel as well, when she hears from the kids that, hey mom, dad said that I should not date white, keep it all black, and she tells a white mom. That might cause some problems. Like, brothers, it's deep, but just hold that thought. So James, over to you now. Are you happy, brother? If you're gonna, if you have children or whatever, right, and like down the line, your blackness is washed out, bro.
Who cares? Who cares?
Okay.
I mean, your kid. All right, say your kid comes out looking Puerto Rican, that their race bloodline is so mixed up. But your kid grows up to be, as famous as I Show Speed, or they grow up to be so good that they say he's like 3 times better than LeBron James, or just the list goes on and on. Do you think people are gonna side him because his race is mixed? No, they're not gonna care. You raise your kid to be amazing, and everything's gonna be all right. Like I said before, If you let that race stuff matter, it's gonna mess you up. It's gonna detour you. Y'all doing it right now. Y'all letting that. It was like, wait a minute, you can't do that. Why? Because race is different. So you're not allowed to do that. You know, we dictate how you live your life. So you can't do that over there. All right, you got to do this. So go do it because we told you to. All right. And then at the end of your life, you're like, damn, I should have just did my own thing. Oh, too late. Peak. I will say this though. This is something I'm talking to my cousin is married to a white dude. I don't like him. A lot of people in the family don't like him. They say he's lazy. And my cousin, the exact opposite of lazy. I don't know how he ended up getting her. Oh, that's right, I do, because he's white. Okay. They get extra points. White guys get like 4 to 5 extra points just because they're white. And I've proven this plethora of times. But if you do have a mixed kid, expose them to a second language like Spanish or Portuguese. They were like, why? That pushes them away from me. I don't speak that. But it's a gift. It's probably one of the most incredible gifts you can give a kid, a second language, naturally a second language. Will Smith got all his kids speaking Japanese. I don't know why he chose Japanese, but he did. Willow Smith, all of them, they all speak Japanese, fluent. I think it's either Chinese or Japanese, but I think it's Japanese because their babysitter was Japanese. And Will Smith told me, no, speak to them in Japanese. They'll just pick it up naturally. So they did it. Okay. But when they grow up, they're going to thank you. They're going to be like, wow, man, I didn't realize how great of a gift this was because now my life is bigger than before because I can speak these languages. I can go to Brazil or I can go to Colombia. I can just blend right in with the language. That's a astronomical gift. I don't know if my cousin is following it, but I plan on calling her and like drilling into her because once the kid gets like either 3 or 4, that's it. They're not going to pick it up naturally. That's it. You got 2.5 years to do it. If that's it, that's it. They're not going to pick it up. But yeah, if you're however your kid comes out, because black people, there's a reason why we go to Africa and we could just be like, yeah, we black, but we still don't exactly look like the rest of them. It's because we're all mixed anyway. So your kid, there's a chance that your kid may come out looking mixed, even if you were a black woman. You know, all you see is what racially she is categorized as. You don't know she's got Native American in there. Probably got just don't tell them what you got in your bloodline. Everybody was humping everybody back then. Everybody. White people are white Americans are incredibly mixed up with everything. They'll like they'll just randomly claim something. They'll claim German, they'll claim Polish, they'll claim Italian, whatever. They just claim some stuff. They don't know what they are. All they do is white. You know, black and white in the United States is just the racial category that you're placed in because they look at you and they say, that's what you are. Okay. It doesn't mean that black, that's the racial category. Okay. Our origin is in Africa. We don't look like them. Some of us do, but most of us don't because we're mixed. So it doesn't matter who you date and end up with your kid. Your kid you could date a blonde haired, blue eyed white girl that has 0 melanin in her bloodline. But because your genes are so strong, even though they're mixed, your kid comes out spitting an image of you. Happens all the time.
Yep.
Thank you, man.
Can I chime in or no? Yeah, sorry about that. And you know, sorry, I don't know that brother's name, but one thing that I noticed with the people in the panel is that you can't have both, right? You can't. I'll be honest, you can't interracially date and then worry about the race thing. You can't have both sides. You either gotta be on the interracial side and then accept the fact that, hey, look, we live in a blended society. It's okay to do it, which, personally speaking, I'm okay with that philosophy, but you can't have like enigmatic, contradictory, philosophical takes because that just ultimately leads to confusion, right?
I think the problem with what you're saying is that like your kid has an expectation of equality and fairness between their parent. And my kids have to know that's never going to happen. They're not going to grow up in the world that I grew up in. They're not going to have to do the things that I did to get to where I did. And thus I can do things they can't. And I think that's a big problem we have in the West is we give kids this idea of fairness. That doesn't exist. No fairness. they will do what we expect of them, right? And I think that's also like a big thing. And other people, I think yourself also mentioned, is like we grew up in very, except for the brother who's African, you know, we grew up in very individualistic societies. If I raise my kids in a collectivist society, they're going to do what I tell them for the most part, right? They'll have their own spin, but they're going to kind of take after what I put into them. I think that's a really, really big trap. I don't care to give my kids individualism like that. I just don't. Individualism, we've seen it in the Black community. How's it working? So,
yeah, but
yeah.
What do you mean by that?
What'd you say?
What do you mean by individualism?
Like, so for example, and it's not just Black people, but in America, people tend to go like, one thing you see is that Black people tend to overperform in a lot of areas and then underperform in others. We're extremes, right? Black people are overrepresented in management in America. A lot of people don't know that. You see Black people in some of the highest positions in the country. And then you also see Black people overrepresented in some of the lowest positions in the country. When you look at kind of people from more collectivist cultures, sure, because of math, we'll have people at the top, but they tend to group around the middle a lot more. We tend to be the extremes.
I still don't understand what you mean by individualism. I'm still not catching
Sure.
it.
So like in the West, we have this perception of like, oh, go and do what you want, go and live your life and chase the things that you as an individual want. In East Asia, especially, that's not the case. It's what's best for kind of what's your family expect of you? What does the community expect of you? What's best for your country? The focus is less so inwards, it is most so around kind of your community. Very big difference.
What exactly?
Collectivism versus.
Well, hold on. Let me. So you don't think it's a good idea to teach your Black kid that I have this mantra that, and it's going to sound cold. It's all going to sound cold, but I'm going to break it all down for y'all real quick. You only, I already said this part. You only live once. You live, you die, and it's over. You don't get another quarter. Okay. Nobody has your back. Nobody cares about you. Nobody's going to look out for you. You're on your own. If you fail, you fail. When you fall down, you got to figure out a way to get yourself back up. No one's going to give you a Band-Aid. No one's going to give you no water. Now, with that said, what do you need to do to make sure that you got yourself and then worry about everybody else? Do you guys have a problem with all of that?
I personally don't.
No, I don't. I would say, first of all, this whole thing about individualism, collectivism, I've seen both ends of it. And I've seen societies where there's a bit of a mix, there is a bit of a balance between the two. And sometimes the reasons is because some of these societies are shame-based. And they also understand the importance of family honor and protection. And they understand you have to protect your in-group. Now, me personally, if I do have my children, I have to explain to them, first and foremost, the world is going to see you a certain way, and you have to be mindful of that. It doesn't mean you have to compromise yourself. You may have to make some adjustments to adapt and make your way through this world, but be aware of how people are going to perceive you. For me personally, there was one opportunity where I could have got involved with a woman. She was Danish, who was very attracted to Black men. And when she found out I was Black, because we were on an online server, and then we started corresponding privately, I realized, okay, the red flag was when she said, mixed race babies are just the best. I understood that as a red flag because I realized, okay, this woman may actually have some type of fetishization. She's not genuinely attracted to me like that, or genuinely attracted to Black men. I tried to figure out what is it that you find, and she just could not give me a genuine answer. Especially considering she lived in a small part of Denmark where you don't see a lot of Black men. I was like, what? Because I'm trying to figure her out. I remember the same problem I had with interacting with women of certain nationalities, and I had to be very vigilant because they usually have certain stereotypes about Black men. And me coming from the motherland is the original article, so I have to consider that, be mindful of that, and not to teach my children, you're going to have to be mindful that's the same thing. And I know you don't want me to use certain references, but I have to use this one reference. There was a sketch by Key and Peele where they play two mixed race high school juniors. And the fetishization was brought up when they were talking to one another about going to a certain party in a predominantly white neighborhood, in a predominantly white high school. And and one of the few mixed race kids in there. The only problem between the two of them is this. Key's character is black on his father's side and white on his mother's side. For Jordan Peele's character, it's the other way around. And he mentioned to him, dude, I may be black appearing, but in the manhood department, I'm a white guy. That's the problem that's the problem with the fetishization we got to worry about. I got to worry about when it comes to being fetishized as a black man who's mixed race. And that's the stuff that some people sometimes forget about. But continue.
Okay. All right, hold on. Somebody just read the super chat. I've got around like 5-10 more minutes left before I have to wrap up the stream. Shout out to Eric Mogadishu for the support. Same race. Don't want to live like the movie Gets Out. Mother-in-law sipping the tea. Also, IP road to 250K sounds better than a meal. More achievable. Okay. Thank you, bro. Very interesting super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Okay, so hope this was a very insightful live stream. There's a lot to think about, a lot to discuss. You know, and you know, I just thought I had to just speak about it, get everyone's topic and everyone's like opinion. But let's go for closing statements, okay, as we wrap up the stream. So let's start with Creative. Creative, do you have any closing statements, bro, before I wrap up the stream?
Yeah, I do. So yeah, I want to preface this that I am completely against the idea of like mate policing or like forcing black men to do like whatever, because one thing we can all agree on is living as a black man is really difficult, right? We all have to deal with a lot of like garbage and things of that nature, right? So I'll never what's it called, force one to make a decision that I'm okay with. I'm personally okay with them going their own way, right? Whatever that entails. One thing that I also want to touch on, and then this will be my last statement, is that it's very important that we be realistic when it comes to relationships, right? A lot of us, let's be real here, it's going to be 50-50 when it comes to the power dynamic. We're not going to be able to control our woman 100% of the time, or the woman is not going to be able to control the man 100% of the time, right? We have to be realistic, because the same way you're living your own life and you're not really thinking about your parents, the same way that child will live their own life without really thinking about you, right? So I'm more in line with that one brother with the red tank top, right? At the end of the day, you have to look out for you, and you only live once. And that would be my closing statement. That's it. All right.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you, Creative. James, do you have any closing statements, bro?
Yeah. Do you, and make sure you are right first and foremost, and know that the best partner in the world out there for you, there's a good chance she may not be the same race as you.
Thank you, James. Appreciate you, bro. Mr. Neymar, do you have any closing statements?
My closing statement is going to be, first and foremost, there is no race except the human race. Secondly, to all the brothers out there, be informed, be knowledgeable, be aware, and mindful. Because whether you like it or not, when it comes to stereotypes, there are two types of people you have to be aware of. That are those who believe in stereotypes and those who live up to certain stereotypes. Be vigilant and mindful for everyone. God bless, Godspeed, and may you find the right person for you.
Hey, thank you, Neymar. Appreciate you, bro. Mr. Tonerano, do you have any closing statements, bro?
Yes. We also have to remember that black is a concept. There's black people in America have a different concept of being black, the 1% rule, than they have in South America. You have black people in South America that call themselves mixed, but they have two parents that are we would say black. So it's different concepts all over the world. It's different concepts in London and all over the world of blackness. So when you're talking about, mixed race and stuff like that, you have to understand where you're going to be living and what's going on. And like I said, you are in control. You are the leader. You are in charge. And you have to get the people to follow you in your direction. So protect yourself at all times and be safe.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Tunnel Runner. Mr. Dems, would you have any closing statements, bro?
Yeah, this has been a great live stream. Great discussion with the brothers on the panel. At this point, I think we have to go for women who celebrate us. That's first and foremost, and live a life of peace and happiness. And looking at your offsprings, I had to think about this now. And if my kids are mixed race, they're still my kids. And if they want to date, have spouses who are non-black, they're still my grandkids. They're still my descendants. They still have my name, still have my genes. So I think we either have one life. We just have to live the best we can.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, bro. Great comment there, Dems. Mr. Expat, do you have any closing statements, bro?
Yeah, no, it's been a great panel. Thanks everyone, and thanks for having me. I guess I would just say, like, the last thing I would leave with is, I think the brothers who spoke about kind of, your children will go down their individual paths and make choices for themselves. Of course, that's true, and it's a great point. I would just say a lot of the kind of, hey, you're on your own, you have to think for yourself and do these things for yourself. A lot of that comes from the fact that we weren't given a functional program. A lot of the people I know that I went to school with and did the best in life, the decisions they made little ones on their own, but the structure was put in place by their parents and they had the best outcomes. So for me, my takeaway, look, like they said, you can't really force your kids to marry anyone, right? But I'm going to try to steer them. I'm going to try to give them the foundation that they need. And if they end up marrying someone outside of the race, so be it. But I'm going to point them in a certain direction.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Expat. Thank you to Eric for the only super chat for tonight. Appreciate your support, Eric. If you want to support the channel, join the Patreon. At least like the video as well on the stream and share around. That'd be awesome. Aside from that, thank you to every single one on this panel who called in: Expat, Demswood, Tunnel Runner, Neymar, James, Creative. And if I missed you, I apologies. Appreciate it, brother. So I'll see you on your next live stream. Be safe. Have a